Well, this did not go as expected as we saw the Phoenix Suns fall short versus the Cleveland Cavaliers team after getting a little bit of a bounce back win, in which we saw new starting center Nick Richards get his first start. And we're going to be diving in looking at that. Plus, we're going to be looking at some really, really questionable things with this Suns roster and how much more shakeups will this team need to really pursue a playoff spot. We'll be diving in and breaking down all of that and more on this episode of Suns Digest. I'm Bruce Velez, and you guys have been absolutely fantastic showing your love and support. Sorry for the lack of recent uploads. I was busy this weekend as I was at the Boston Celtics game on Saturday, and then I was busy yesterday doing some family things. But I am back recording the videos for you guys now. So without further ado, let's dive in and let's get into all of this Suns news for you guys. Like I said, you guys have been absolutely fantastic. Make sure to grab that snack. And what we saw from the Phoenix Suns in today's performance on Martin Luther King Day was definitely a rough performance, as we saw the Phoenix Suns fall very, very short to the Cleveland Cavaliers here. It was a little bit of a contest early in the first quarter, but as we could see, the Suns lost 118 to 92, and the Suns were basically taken out of this game in the second quarter. Throughout the third and the fourth, the Cavaliers had leads of up to 20 points throughout most, and I'm very, very confused on why the Suns didn't wave the white flag even earlier than what they should have versus Cavaliers team in the fourth quarter, as it was clearly over before the fourth had even started. If we want to look at the percentages for this Suns team, they once again shot 46% from the field and 38% from three today. Where they struggled was in that rebounding category, as the Cleveland Cavaliers were able to dominate on the offensive glass, as the Phoenix Suns got one offensive rebound as a team. One offensive rebound as a team. One. One. One offensive rebound as a team. One. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. All right, let's get back to this. One offensive rebound compared to their 15. They were able to get 33 defensive rebounds, but congratulations, you could get a basket after a bad bounce and it lands right in your lap. Suns were close to the assists for the Cavaliers, but once again, the Cavaliers were very, very solid at getting those steals, and the Suns, once again, struggled with those turnovers. The Cavaliers and the Suns pretty close with points in the paint. We want to look at the Suns here today. Devin Booker, after being on a pretty solid run over the last couple games, did not have a great game offensively today. 15 points, 6 for 14 from the field. No one really showed up offensively for this Suns team. Tyus Jones, 50% from the field, 50% from the field. Durant did his best job trying to lead this team, push them through the ranks. But once the Cavs ran that zone defense in the second quarter, the Suns just basically had nowhere to score. Nick Richards was in a little bit of foul trouble today. He saw 3 early fouls, finished with 5. Got to finish and get his first big start at 22 minutes. Not as big or impactful as his matchup versus the Detroit Pistons, but obviously the Cavaliers have some better big men. When I look at this bench unit, with things that really scream, unfortunately, for the Suns was Royce O'Neal scoring 0 points today, as he was 0 for 3 from the field. We also saw guys like Monte Morris, Ozer Guardaro, Bull, not get Damian Lee, not get run till end of the game. Grayson Allen tried his best to do his job, and Bradley Beal, once again for this Suns team, not looking like he wants to show out. Only 4 shot attempts for Bradley Beal today, and 2 threes, 3 defensive rebounds, 4 assists. Not much going for him. For the Cavaliers, we saw Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland be that fantastic guard duo for this team, with Jared Allen controlling those boards, noting a total of 11. But him and Tristan Thompson were able to successfully be able to control the Suns off the glass, just basically themselves, averaging, 21 of those 50 rebounds, and that severely limited this Suns team. We also saw some good defense from guys like Georges Niang, playing up against Kevin Durant, who was able to limit him a little bit. For the Cavaliers off the bench, Jalen Tyson, their rookie, was pretty solid. Ty Jerome and Sam Merrill, 2 young guards off the bench, may not have the greatest shooting numbers, but were able to be pretty solid players as well for this Cavs team. And for the Suns, it's just getting to a breaking point of just misery here, as we saw them trade for Nick Richards. We saw everyone get happy about that. This is going to change everything. We see them play the Pistons. They're able to fight in a little bit of a good game versus a solid Eastern Conference opponent. Then we see them go up against a top team in the Cavaliers in the East, and they just fall flat. And not just fall flat in just like Oh, they were competitive. They were in it. They were in this game for 1 quarter, ladies and gentlemen. 1 quarter. And that was the first quarter. After the first quarter, this game was blown away. And the Phoenix Suns saw no way of coming back. If we want to dive in and look back at those team stats, the Suns did have a lead at one point in this game. And it was a lead of one. That was their largest lead of the day, was a 1 point lead. So that goes to show you how locked in this Suns team is defensively. Once again, just not up there. And like we can see with teams like Cleveland, who are top tier in the Eastern Conference, they are just so much better than us. And with the Western Conference being, a little bit of a tighter race and said to be better than the Eastern Conference, this is not looking great for the Suns, even if they are prepared to go up against some of these top teams in the West. Because even if they make the playoffs, we could still see the same result that we saw last season, which was a sweep and a ultimate very, very frustrating first round exit for all Suns fans, including myself. And we all know we don't want to see that. So hopefully things can change. Now, it is the Cleveland Cavaliers. If you were going into this game thinking the Suns had even a chance to compete with this team, you were absolutely wrong. The Cavaliers are one of the best in the Eastern Conference and have one of the best records in the NBA for a reason. They play ball on both sides of the floor, and the Suns clearly cannot do the defensive side or the offensive side some nights. Tonight, obviously, they just weren't there as a unit, and the Cavaliers were just the better team. But that just goes to show you that the Suns still have issues even following this Nick Richards deal, and who knows if those issues will be solved fully this season. But I want to know your thoughts, so let them down below in the comment section. But as we get into that last topic right there, what is the answer for this Suns team? Is it more moves? Is it Jimmy Butler? Is it a roster breakup? Is it a trade of Booker or Kevin Durant? What do you guys think? Let me know down below in the comment section, because clearly there needs to be a shakeup. This team cannot be teeter-tottering with 500, competing for the competing for the play-in, trying to fight for a playoff spot. Even if they only are 3 games back from the 5th seed, like I mentioned, they cannot be in this race. They need to be solidifying themselves to be ascending in that race and pushing forward, and not be staying stagnant with the rest of this group in the Western Conference. And ultimately, I think a Jimmy Butler deal is going to have to be made for that to happen. And who knows if it's going to happen. But guys like Brandon Clean, courtesy of the Locked On Suns, basically say if this is how Bradley Beal is going to approach the game, I'm not sure why he just wouldn't waive his no trade clause tomorrow. And I agree as well. Bradley Beal these last couple of games has been just kind of taking it very light. Obviously, he doesn't want to come off the bench. He wants to be on a new team. The Suns don't want him. The inevitable is going to get pushed, and if it doesn't get pushed this season, ultimately by the end of this season, we could see a disaster thing happen to where next season the Suns are forced into a decision that they ultimately do not want to make. And that's why I think Matt Ishbia is going to be 100% aggressive in getting some of these guys out of here. We might have to see some other guys get moved, like a Josh Okogie, to get more draft capital or to get even more assets to make a move for Jimmy Butler or to fill these holes around the edges. But I want to know your thoughts. Like I said, personally, I still think going for Jimmy Butler because he wants to be here and you want him is the best move for the Phoenix Suns. It also helps the solving of having too many guards in the lineup and addresses some help in needing a voice and some defensive help. I think that's what the Suns ultimately need. Then look at some guys around the edges. Maybe still get a Duop Breath for a guy like Bull Bull. Maybe look for some other wing help at the defensive side as well. But ultimately, this Suns team still needs some changes to get back into competing and putting some smiles on these fans' faces, excuse me. Like I said, the Nick Richards move was a great one, was going to be an impactful one, and it already showed like it would be. But tonight, honestly, against some of these top tier bigs, he didn't look that great, getting some early foul trouble, and that clearly shows that the Suns still need some more moves. But I want to know your thoughts down below in the comment section, what you guys ultimately think on this Suns team. So drop down your thoughts down below on the squad, and I'll let you know what I personally think right back. But like I said, you guys have been absolutely fantastic. I really do appreciate all the love you guys have been showing. So thank you guys so much, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Have a great rest of your day, and go Phoenix Suns. Peace out, everyone.